Hey everybody, Bob Paskins here. Let's get ready for another daily devotional drill. My dad once asked me, when did it become so difficult to order a simple cup of coffee? You see, my dad comes from the old school type where what you basically do is you go out, you get your Folgers, you put it in your filter, you stick that in the pot, you put the water in it, and then about 3 or 4 minutes later, after it percolates, your coffee is ready. Or if my dad really wanted to get fancy, he would go out to the nearest gas station, go find the cup, find the coffee, pour it in, and then take it to go. But about 20 or 25 years ago, the whole coffee industry was turned on its head, thanks to Starbucks, who really basically redefined the coffee experience. But not only did they redefine the coffee experience, they also redefined the coffee vocabulary. So going in there, you're used to getting a small, medium, or large. But Starbucks didn't do that. They went for the Italian ways of naming sizes. So now you have a tall, a grande, or a venti. Now, quick aside, I went out and got Danielle, my wife, a tall cup of coffee the other day. And what I really found out is tall is a giant misnomer. I mean, I went and got this cup and I looked down at it and it was roughly the size of the cup that you would get with your cough syrup medicine. I mean, you look at it, that's not really tall at all. Anyway, I digress off of the point by saying that Starbucks changed the vocabulary of how you look to order coffee drinks. Now, if you go into Starbucks and you're familiar with it, you know exactly what size that you want. But if you go somewhere else and you may not understand their sizing, it was completely different. And that's where really what my dad's question was. Because all my dad wanted was a 16-ounce cup of coffee. And what he was used to, again, was just going, finding the 16-ounce cup and pouring it. But the problem with him was the vocabulary. He wasn't sure if that was a tall, medium, grande, if it was, a gulp, a super gulp, a big gulp. And was the large at one place the same as a large at the other place? Typically, it wasn't. And so what he would end up doing is just going up to the counter and saying, I would like a 16-ounce cup of coffee. Then the barista, sometimes a little bit more snootier than others, might say, well, isn't that a super grande? And my dad would say, I don't care what you call it. Please just give me a 16-ounce cup of coffee. You see, here's the drill. For a lot of people, they run into the obstacles which come from vocabulary. There are terms that they may not be used to. You'll find this a lot if you have a new team member or a new client or someone new who is joining your group of friends. You have your own vocabulary which you've used for all of this time, which is foreign to the person that is new. So my encouragement is this. In a sense, don't change your vocabulary. Like Starbucks, it might be part of your unique model, your unique business principles. That's great. What you need to do is take the extra step, go the extra inch, and helping people understand what your vocabulary is and how it relates to somebody else. That a grande at Starbucks is the exact same thing and a medium at Pete's. So once you're able to clarify that, then the next thing is you need to do some additional hand-holding because they may not get it once. They may not get it twice. They may not understand what your system is or how is it different from the other system or your products or why do your products have a funny name? Why can't you just be called skin lotion or something like that? You need to really take that extra step and hand-holding them through that process. Because if you just point and say, hey, this is what it is, you're going to lose them. But if you walk them through the process, you share it, you handhold, you lead them through that step, you make them so they do understand the vocabulary and they do like you or your product or your service, they will come back and be repeat customers. And that's a lot of the genius of what Starbucks did. So that's my goal for you. Again, it's okay to have different vocabulary. Just take the next step to help other people overcome the obstacle of your vocabulary. And if you're able to do this, especially with new customers, you've got them locked in for a long period of time. So this is Bob Paskins with the daily devotional drill, encouraging you to engage in light, to let your light shine, and to be a champ. Thanks, everybody.